What if the stages in Tekken 8 aren't just stages? That might sound confusing at first, but let me explain. We all know stages in fighting games are important. They set the atmosphere, the tone, the feel of everything. They can bring great importance to the battle. Where the battle is taking place is as important as why the battle is taking place. Dang, I just came up with that. That's deep. Put that on a t-shirt. Maybe that's not as deep as I'm thinking it is. Bottom line, stages are important, but I don't think the stages in Tekken 8 are just any old stages. I think they all have meaning. Certain stages are meant to represent certain characters in the game, such as Ortiz Farm, which is owned by Azucena's family. And some stages are meant to represent intense moments, like Fallen Destiny. So now that we have all 16 of the Tekken 8 stages revealed to us, I want to go over all of them real quick with you, give you my thoughts on the design, the atmosphere, and then tell you what I think it could mean for the story mode of Tekken 8. Because I do believe some of these stages will appear in there. So let's do it. Starting off, of course, we have the arena, which is one of my favorite stages already. I got to play it in the closed beta test, and it's just amazing. The visuals of the lasers, the lights, the statue of the two iron fists, and the crowd roaring, and the base of the arena being made of glass. Terrible idea, but it's really cool when you're playing. This is definitely somewhere you go to fight for a tournament, especially one as important as the King of the Iron Fist. After that, we have Arena Underground. Now, I've only seen this in certain gameplay trailers and teasers, but we actually got to see it being played on in Dragunov's trailer. And it says Arena Underground like it's a secret arena that is underneath the normal arena that nobody's supposed to know about, but it literally just looks like the arena in after hours. Like the lights are off, everybody went home, and two buds just want to have a sparring match. Except for the fact that the rails in this one stink and explode if you hit them too hard. So honestly, I don't know. Then next up we have Urban Square Evening and just normal Urban Square. Now both stages are the same exact size, and I'm pretty sure they roughly take place in the same exact area. So honestly, I don't see why these are separate. I feel like after each round, the sun could just set a little bit more. But that's just me. Other than that, I really like this stage. It's set in New York, in the street. It's got a really cool open area feel, where you're having an intense fight in the city. In my opinion, it kind of gives me superhero vibes. Yakushima. Now this stage is pretty big. Very open and free for you to do what you gotta do to get the job done. Now apparently this is where Jun raised Jin until he was 15 years old, and went to seek out Heihachi so that he could compete in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3. So this stage here is pretty important, and I'm willing to bet like everything that it's gonna be in the story mode. Coliseum of Fate. Honestly, an appropriate name because in any Coliseum, you're fighting for your life. So yes, here you are choosing your fate, to live or stinking die. I love that there's like a 100-inch flat screen TV just over there. This looks so medieval and boss, like you're gonna fight a dragon, dude. I love it. Revel Hangar. Now I played this one in the closed beta test, and I thought it was okay. I felt it was just kind of a pretty average stage, but it gives me Avengers vibes, like you're on the helicarrier. That's just what I'm feeling from this. Again, another stage that I think will show up in the story. Fallen Destiny. This is probably the stage I am the most excited for because it was in the first Tekken 8 trailer, and I believe the music that plays in the stage is Pave Your Way, which is the song that played in the trailer, and it's just so stinking good. Not to mention that this stage just looks amazing with the lava, the seashore, the broken boat, the tornadoes in the background. It just looks so sick, and I cannot wait to play on it. And honestly, I want the final battle to happen here. Descent into Subconscious. This seems like a very Spirit Realm-esque stage. Another one I feel like is going to be in the story. It's definitely got that spirit and otherworldly feel to it, with the floor just being covered with water and lights being everywhere. Not to mention there's this giant creepy hand and like a portal and bones. This stage is very interesting. Sanctum is another very interesting place because I feel like it should be connected to Yakushima. In the back of the Yakushima stage, you can see there's a little opening that you can walk into, and I wonder if that's where this leads right here. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool. It seems like you're in a cave, some sort of ancient ruin from a very, very old tribe, but who knows? Into the Atmosphere. Okay, bro, there is nothing more epic and final battle climactic feeling than fighting on a stinking meteorite headed for Earth's atmosphere. Only Tekken, and I love it. Honestly, this is some Dragon Ball nonsense right here, and I love every bit of it. I cannot wait to fight on this stage. Whether it's in the story or not, I don't care. I'm in space. Does this make sense? No, but we're talking about a game that has fighting bears and devils and humanoid robots, so it doesn't stinking matter. Coming back to Ortiz Farm, it's got a nice feel to it. Very countryside, very relaxing, very open air. It's just an overall nice vibe. Not to mention it has great background music. Celebration on the Sen, Victor's map. Everybody instantly fell in love with this stage when they saw it in Victor's gameplay trailer. And honestly, it just looks beautiful. Sometimes if you just look at a still image of it, it's hard to tell if it's CGI or real. Like, they did a phenomenal job with the stage. Secluded training ground. In other words, substitute Mishima Dojo. I do really like the breakable walls. That adds another effect to it. And look at how many there are. Holy cow, I'm just noticing this. Gosh dang. That's amazing. 3 breakable walls on each side. You love to see it. Honestly, a really cool stage, and again, the song is amazing. The song gives me Tekken 2 vibes. Elegant Palace. I think this is just Lee's house. This man is like crazy rich, and everybody predicted this when they first showed off his gameplay in a trailer quite a while back. But I really do love how you can break the outside window, fight on the balcony, and if you break the balcony rails, you fall into a Violet Laboratories, which is under Lee's house, which is something that I predicted a while ago when they showed off Alyssa. You can see Combat in the background, and I thought it wouldn't make sense for them to have Violet Systems return and also have a stage for Lee. So why not mix them both? And that's exactly what they did. And honestly, I'm here for it, man. And then finally, Midnight Siege. Now this is just a war zone going on, and it's honestly kind of terrifying. You're fighting in a broken building, and there's a bunch of soldiers outside lighting each other up. It's probably the scariest stage, and it really reminds me of Tekken 6's whole vibe, since there was just a ton of war going on in most of those stages. Everything was on fire. It was just a wreck. Overall, I think it's really cool. So now we've gone through all the stages in the game. I want to go back and possibly predict what role they could play in the story if you even go to those locations in the story mode. Alright, so Arena and Arena Underground is obviously connected to the King of Iron Fist tournament. If during the story you have to compete, guarantee it, fights are going to happen here. Now we did get story footage and Kazuya does bring it up, so I don't think it's a very far-fetched idea. Urban Square we obviously know is in the story mode because it's literally the first mission, so it's kind of a no-brainer, not gonna lie. Now I think Yakushima is very important since Jin was raised here. And plus we have a cutscene of Ling Xiaoyu fighting off Jack robots that seem like they're invading to take something or someone. So if I may be so bold, I think this one's already confirmed to be in the story too. Now I'm not gonna lie, I don't see how Coliseum of Fate could really fit into the story, unless if certain fights for the King of Iron Fist tournament take place in different areas, which is completely possible. It's happened before. So I think that this would be a great spot. Now for the Rebel Hangar, I feel like something is going to happen in the story to where either Lars and his team are going to get invaded by bad guys, or he just fights here for a fun little sparring match with one of his buddies. Now Fallen Destiny, like I said before, we saw it in the very first trailer, and while I did say before that I don't think this is where the final fight takes place, it might be, because I have a theory. What if Fallen Destiny is the same as Into the Stratosphere? I mean, look at them. The meteorite crash lands on Earth, and Kazuya and Jin fight to the death there. This actually could be a possibility. I'm calling it. This is what happens in the story. Somehow they end up in space, fighting on a meteorite, and then Jin and Kazuya are on there, they crash land on Earth, and that is where the final fight takes place. That is my prediction. Now, like I said before with Descent into Subconsciousness, I think it'll have to do with Jin trying to get control of Devil Jin, and either Claudio or someone else helping him out, and this is just some mindscape that you're in. And then you have to end up fighting in here. I don't know, it's kind of a wild guess, but seems kind of possible to me. Like I said before, I think Sanctum is connected to Yakushima, so if it is, they're kind of the same stage, just in a little bit of a different setting. And if Yakushima is going to be in the story, I don't see why Sanctum wouldn't. I feel like a way Ortiz Farm could fit into the story if it gives us a little bit of backstory into Azucena. And maybe we have a few fights there because she's training. Not a bad idea. Celebration on the Sen, I'm not going to lie, I have no idea how this could work. Unless it's a boat they have to take because all of their tech gets destroyed and Victor says, hey, I got a stinking yacht, let's go. I don't really know what this stage could be used for and what setting for the story. But I could maybe think of a few things. Now, Secluded Training Ground, in my opinion, has to be in the story. Because if we're going to get introduced to Reina, you know it's got to be here. It's a secluded training ground for a reason. Heihachi was training her here. Either Jin or Kazuya is going to find it, and that's when we're going to meet Reina. An epic showdown is going to happen, and who knows what'll transpire from that. So I think this stage has a 100% chance of being in story mode. Elegant Palace. Again, this being Lee's house, and with him being what looks like Lars's right-hand man, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if the story took us here for one mission. And then, of course, finally, Midnight Siege. Tekken 8 is literally a war. This is the most likely stage to be in the game, at least in my opinion. But that is going to do it from this video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think these stages are connected to story mode, or am I just crazy? Either way, I really appreciate you watching all the way until the end. As always, if you enjoyed the video but aren't subscribed, please consider. It would really help me out. And don't forget, I stream every Tuesday and Saturday. Consider hopping in and saying hi. And I've also got the Discord link in the description down below. But again, thank you so much, and you'll see me in the next video.